Have mercy.
Why keep pausing like I do? Why keep flossing like I do? Get ready for you. Feel like you're cheating the positions I play for you. Surprise. Tonight, no, baby, my butt keep getting cute. Ooh, ooh, that's just what I do. Treat me like a treat me. Yeah, I know I do it right. Treat me like a treat me. Moving too fast, now you got in the middle. Try so hard to keep up. So tell me, how does it feel? I played those same games 1,000 times over, and you gave that. Take it straight. I am not tripping, I know he disloyal. Should've let him leave on me, not really though. Cause one thing you trying me, the dick was good at blinding me. You could fuck another girl, she never be a half of me. See my ass, I thought around. You win, I'm in pieces.
Chloe Bailey. The world first met her as half of Chloe and Halle, the sister duo discovered by Beyoncé. Their harmonies were flawless, their bond unshakable, and their rise from YouTube covers to Grammy nominations felt like a fairy tale. But when Chloe stepped into her own spotlight, everything changed. At first, the internet was obsessed. Her 2021 MTV VMA solo debut with Have Mercy was electric. She commanded the stage, radiating confidence and raw talent. But then the whispers started. Some called her the next Beyoncé. Others, not so kind. Suddenly, she was too sexy, too extra, too desperate for attention. The same people who once cheered for her were now tearing her down. But why? Why did stepping out on her own flip the narrative? And more importantly, what does Beyoncé really think about it all? When Chloe Bailey stepped into the spotlight with her younger sister Halle, it felt like something new. In a pop landscape filled with copy-paste acts, these two stood out. Raw talent, real chemistry, and voices that turned heads. They started on YouTube, sharing stripped-down covers that put their vocal skills front and center. Then came the turning point. Their cover of Beyoncé's Pretty Hurts caught the attention of Queen Bey herself. But Beyoncé didn't just applaud them. She signed them to her label, Parkwood Entertainment. Just like that, Chloe and Halle went from online sensations to performing alongside music royalty. They opened for Beyoncé and Jay-Z on the On the Run 2 tour, captivating sold-out arenas with their dreamy mix of R&B and pop. Their debut album, The Kids Are All Right, proved they weren't just Beyoncé's protégés. They were legitimate stars in their own right. Critics praised them. Fans loved their sisterhood. And for a while, the path looked golden. But behind that harmony, something was shifting. Chloe had a different energy, a spark that couldn't be ignored. While the duo thrived, her solo fire was already flickering beneath the surface. Whether the world was ready or not, it was only a matter of time before she stepped out on her own. That spark? It didn't just grow, it exploded when social media got involved. At first, Chloe Bailey was like any other young artist, sharing dance clips, jam sessions, and behind-the-scenes moments. Then came the Bus It Challenge. A simple, fun trend where users transformed from casual to glam. But when Chloe did it, the internet broke. Her version went viral in seconds. Fans raved about her moves, confidence, and presence. Major outlets called her the next big thing, and her followers skyrocketed. It was the kind of moment that takes an artist from rising star to household name overnight. But viral fame? It's a double-edged sword. For every cheer, there was a whisper. For every new fan, a critic waited. It's as if social media was just looking for a reason to turn admiration into controversy. And soon enough, they found one. Just like that, the cheers turned into criticism. The same people who once praised Chloe Bailey's confidence, who celebrated her for embracing her femininity, suddenly had a problem with it. Now, she was try-hard, over-sexualized, desperate for attention. Social media dissected her performances, analyzing every outfit, every move, every glance at the camera. Then came the Beyoncé comparisons, but not the good kind. At first, being called Beyoncé's natural successor was the highest compliment. But soon, the narrative changed. Chloe was now accused of copying her mentor or failing to fill shoes that were too big. Some questioned if her grown and sexy image was really her choice or something pushed by the label. And here's where things turned hypocritical. The same critics who slammed Chloe for being too much had no issue with male artists showcasing their bodies and singing explicitly, something the industry has celebrated for decades. It was the same double standard that has haunted Black women in music for generations. Why is it confidence when a man does it, but desperation when a Black woman does? And Chloe? She was caught in the middle of it all, trying to navigate her solo career while dodging every new wave of criticism that came the moment she stepped into her own light. The negativity only got worse when Chloe Bailey did something rare. She let her guard down. Until then, the world had only seen her polished, confident persona, smiling in interviews, dancing effortlessly in music videos, sharing curated glimpses of her life. But during a raw Instagram Live, Chloe showed something different: her pain. For the first time, she admitted how the criticism was crushing her. After years of body image struggles, she had finally learned to embrace herself, only for the internet to tear her apart. The very thing she had just begun to love, now weaponized against her. She described herself as a self-proclaimed nerd, someone most at home off stage, buried in music, away from the noise. Performing wasn't just her career. It was her way of accessing a fearless version of herself. This wasn't a PR move or damage control. It was a plea for empathy, a reminder that beneath the viral moments and headlines, she was still human. But as emotional as that moment was, Chloe had no idea that another storm was already brewing. While Chloe Bailey was battling public scrutiny, a new conversation emerged, one that had nothing to do with her solo career and everything to do with Chloe and Halle's future. Fans noticed the shift. Halle Bailey had landed the role of Ariel in Disney's The Little Mermaid, while Chloe was diving into her solo music. Two sisters, two separate paths. They repeatedly shut down rumors of a split, insisting their bond was unbreakable. But social media? It had other ideas. Some saw their separate Instagram accounts as a sign of growing distance. Others believed Parkwood Entertainment was crafting two distinct brands: Halle, the wholesome Disney princess; Chloe, the bold, risk-taking performer. Then came the conspiracy theories. Was Halle secretly disapproving of Chloe's new image? Was Beyoncé's team positioning them to appeal to different audiences? The internet dug through old interviews, cryptic tweets, and out-of-context clips, searching for evidence of tension. But there was no proof, no scandal, no betrayal. Not that it mattered, because when has the internet ever needed facts to run with a good story? And for Chloe and Halle, that meant constantly swatting away new rumors before they spiraled out of control. None of this happens in a vacuum. The music industry has a history of shaping young artists to fit a mold, especially under major power players like Beyoncé and Jay-Z. On paper, their mentorship is the ultimate golden ticket. And in many ways, it was. Parkwood Entertainment catapulted Chloe and Halle onto global stages. Beyoncé's cosign opened doors, grabbed critics' attention, and set them apart. But was it also a double-edged sword? The way Beyoncé and Jay-Z handle their protégés has raised questions. Do they nurture talent, or do they control the ceiling of success? Some point to artists like Tierra Mari, once positioned as R&B's next big star, who quickly faded into industry obscurity, or a Mary whose career never quite took off the way many expected. When the focus shifts, does the last rising star get left behind? Then there's branding pressure. Chloe's hyperglam, ultra-sexy persona is a stark contrast to Chloe and Halle's ethereal, sisterly aesthetic. Fans wonder, is this her true artistic choice? Or is she following a pre-designed blueprint for maximum impact? There's no solid proof of label control or career ceilings. But in an industry full of cautionary tales, the speculation never stops. And when you're under Beyoncé's wing, the world is always watching, sometimes a little too closely. One thing has never been in doubt. Chloe Bailey's talent. She's not just a singer. She's a producer, songwriter, dancer, and powerhouse performer, delivering with an intensity that's rare for any artist, let alone someone in her early 20s. When Have Mercy dropped, it marked a clear shift. The bass-heavy sound, bold lyrics, and unapologetic visuals were a dramatic turn from the ethereal style of Chloe and Halle. Some fans embraced the change, excited to see Chloe step into a new side of herself. Others weren't so sure. To them, the shift felt too sudden, like she'd gone from wholesome duo member to provocative solo act overnight. That raised the question, was this really Chloe's vision, or was it the labels? Even critics questioned why Parkwood Entertainment didn't roll out her new image more gradually. A slower evolution might have helped fans adjust. Instead, it felt like a hard reset, leaving some unsure how to connect with her new sound. And that confusion showed when her debut album, In Pieces, finally dropped. Despite the online hype, millions of views, non-stop engagement, the energy didn't translate into strong sales or streams. So what happened? Were people drawn more to Chloe's image than her music? Or had she gained a following that loved the viral moments, but wasn't really invested in her long-term success? Despite the noise, Chloe Bailey isn't backing down. She knows how fast the industry can turn. One wrong move, one viral misstep, and suddenly you're the villain. But if Chloe has made one thing clear, she refuses to be boxed in. There's a new fire in how she carries herself, a sense that she's done letting others dictate her story. But that raises the biggest question. How do you navigate a world where every choice is up for debate? If she tones it down, will critics say she's pandering? If she keeps pushing boundaries, will the backlash hit even harder? For Black women in music, this is nothing new. They're told to be confident, but not too confident. Sexy, but not too sexy. Authentic, but only on other people's terms. It's a no-win game, one that even Janet Jackson, Rihanna, and Beyoncé had to fight. And now, Chloe Bailey stands at that same crossroads. Play it safe, or burn the rulebook and carve her own path? This isn't just about Chloe Bailey. It's about a much bigger problem. The music industry has long fetishized Black women's talent and style. Yet the moment they own their bodies, their confidence, their power, the backlash is immediate. For decades, male artists have been celebrated for explicit lyrics, provocative performances, barely their outfits. It's just part of the game. But when a woman, especially a Black woman, does the same, suddenly she's too much, too desperate, too explicit. And Chloe? She's proof of how fast that shift happens. 1 minute, she's praised as confident and refreshing. The next, the internet acts like her existence in a bodysuit is an unforgivable offense. It's not new, we've seen it happen before. But here's what is different. The internet never forgets. Once social media labels you, it doesn't matter how many times you prove your artistry. Some people refuse to see anything else. So the real question is, can Chloe rewrite her own narrative, or will the internet try to write it for her? Industry politics only make things messier. Every career move, every stumble, it all gets dissected for hidden motives. And at the center of it all, Beyoncé. Some fans believe Beyoncé would never let anyone under her rise too high. The classic protect the throne theory. An artist can shine, but never enough to become real competition. Of course, there's no proof that Beyoncé or Parkwood Entertainment are holding Chloe back, but history shows that labels prioritize their biggest stars. If a rising artist doesn't deliver immediate results, attention moves elsewhere. The industry doesn't wait. It invests where it knows it will win. That puts artists like Chloe in a tough position, pleasing executives, winning over fans, and constantly proving herself, knowing one misstep could cost everything. Some even speculate that if Chloe's solo career fails, it won't be by accident. That maybe, just maybe, she was never meant to surpass her mentor. Truth or conspiracy, it almost doesn't matter. Because once the internet starts whispering, the noise becomes impossible to ignore. Through it all, Chloe Bailey refuses to fold. With grace, resilience, and sheer drive, she keeps moving, not to silence critics, but because music is part of who she is. She said it herself. She wants to write, produce, and experiment on her own terms, crafting songs that reflect her identity, not one shaped by labels or social media. Her solo releases may not have topped charts, but she hasn't slowed down. She's still recording, still connecting with fans, still evolving. Chloe's not here for a viral moment or to play into someone else's blueprint. She's here because she earned it. But this chapter, it's far from over. There's no clean narrative here. It's a living process, unfolding in real time. Every song, every interview, every choice is another puzzle piece. And each move brings her closer to the stardom many believe she deserves, or risks pushing her deeper into the shadows of an industry that rarely offers second chances. So, will Chloe Bailey get the last word in her own story, or will someone else write it for her? Chloe Bailey's struggle isn't just hers. Time and time again, talented Black women in music have faced the same uphill battle. Undeniable talent, yet an industry that never quite knows what to do with them. Tinashe blended R&B, pop, and electronic in a way that felt ahead of its time, but her label never figured out how to market her. Normani had viral performances, high-profile collabs, and superstar potential, yet the momentum stalled. Even Ciara and Ashanti felt it. One day, you're on top, and the next, the industry quietly moves on. Once that happens, you either fight your way back or fade into nostalgia. The reality is, talent alone isn't enough. It takes timing, label support, fan investment, and sometimes just plain luck. And even then, success is never guaranteed. For Chloe, the challenge is even greater. She's still defining herself as an artist, yet constantly pushed and pulled by outside expectations. The real question isn't whether she can reach the top, it's whether the industry, the audience, and the ever-changing music landscape will let her stay there. The stakes couldn't be higher, because Chloe Bailey isn't lacking in talent. She can produce, dance, and deliver powerhouse vocals in a way that's rare in today's auto-tuned, over-polished pop world. By all accounts, she should be known for her artistry. But that's not what people focus on. Instead of her music, the conversation often fixates on her outfits, her dance moves, and whether she's too much. It's a tired pattern, one that many women in entertainment know too well. No matter how skilled they are, the conversation always seems to turn superficial. Her fans get it. They see Chloe as still growing, still experimenting, deserving space to evolve. But her critics? They're not so sure. Some even question whether she's being molded behind the scenes into a Beyoncé 2.0. For Chloe, the challenge is simple, but not easy. Tune out the noise, stay grounded in her vision, and prove she's not here to play a role written by someone else. She's here to create. The only question is, will the world let her? Which brings us to the biggest question. Will Chloe Bailey break through the limits placed on her? Or will she become yet another cautionary tale? An artist whose spark faded because the industry never quite knew what to do with her? Her album In Pieces may not have topped the charts, but it was a statement, a sign that she's not done, that she has more to say, more to create, more to prove. Maybe her success won't be measured by numbers alone, but by whether she can build something lasting, a dedicated fan base that grows with her. Because in a world where attention spans are short and controversy fuels engagement, sustaining genuine artistry is the hardest battle of all. Yet, it's not impossible. If Chloe can cut through the noise and connect with fans who see her for more than a viral moment or a bodysuit, she just might prove that her story is far from over. And if she pulls it off, she won't just survive this industry, she'll rewrite the rules entirely. And then there's the Beyoncé factor. Some argue that if Beyoncé truly wanted to shield Chloe, the backlash wouldn't have spiraled this far. A well-placed cosign can shift an entire career. But others believe this is exactly the kind of test every rising star must face, a proving ground where real artists are forged. Because growth doesn't come from protection, it comes from facing the fire and emerging stronger. Maybe everything Chloe is enduring, the scrutiny, the double standards, the relentless online noise, isn't holding her back. Maybe it's shaping her into the powerhouse she's meant to be. And of course, there's still Halle. Both sisters insist their bond is unbreakable, no matter how different their solo paths may seem. But will their individual success strengthen their duo or make a reunion harder? Only time will tell. For now, though, Chloe isn't waiting for validation. She's made it clear. She's not a sidekick, not a second-string star, not a stand-in. She is the moment. And no matter what the industry, the internet, or the critics say, she's carving out a lane that's entirely her own. So, will Chloe Bailey rise as an icon, redefining what it means to be a confident, multi-talented Black woman in music? Or will she remain trapped in relentless judgment, forever overshadowed by her mentor's legacy and a fan culture that builds you up one day and tears you down the next? One thing is certain, Chloe isn't backing down. Her resilience is in every performance, every live stream, every moment she refuses to apologize for who she is. She has the talent, vision, and drive to shift the narrative, if she can outlast the critics and evolve on her own terms. With time, maybe the world will finally see Chloe as an artist, not just a viral moment. Or maybe it won't. But if history has taught us anything, it's this. The artists who truly change the game aren't the ones who bow to pressure. They're the ones who push forward even when the world is waiting for them to fail. And Chloe Bailey? She's just getting started. Right now, Chloe Bailey stands in the spotlight, fierce, determined, and fully aware of the challenges ahead. All eyes are on her. Will she break free from the labels placed on her? Will she take control of her own destiny? That tension between expectation and limitless potential is exactly what makes her story so compelling. She's done being in the background, done apologizing. Whether this transformation is industry-driven or entirely her own, one fact remains. She's here, she's loud, and she's not backing down. The critics will always talk. The Beyoncé comparisons won't stop. The industry might have its own ideas for her future. But beneath all that noise is an artist who refuses to let anyone else write her story. And if she pulls this off, she won't be remembered as anyone's protege, copy, or industry experiment. She'll be remembered as Chloe Bailey, the artist who weathered the storm, shattered expectations, and carved her own place in music. Only time will tell which way the scales tip. But if history favors anyone, it's the ones who stand their ground, no matter who questions their every move.